Hello everyone. So the question is, what is the right way to punch a punching bag? Now the answer to that question depends on what you're attempting to accomplish, okay? If you're attempting to be a fighter, for example, then how you punch the punching bag would be different than if you're just attempting to exercise. You just want general exercise, okay? So if you want to be a fighter, then obviously there's all kinds of techniques, and that gets broken up into categories. Are you going to try to just be a boxer, or are you going to try to be a kickboxer, or just general MMA fighter, or whatever it is? There's all kinds of different techniques, okay? But if you're just going to exercise, if your main goal of punching the punching bag is strictly for exercise, then the answer to the question of how do you punch a punching bag is, it doesn't matter. I know that seems kind of dumb or counterintuitive, but when you're exercising, as long as you're doing it safe, that is, then your point is to keep moving, whether you're lifting weights, you're running, you're jogging, you're swimming, or you're punching a punching bag. You know, the movement is causing you to work your muscles and get your heart pumping. It's a cardiovascular exercise. And so, regardless if you're, just punching with one hand, or punching with the other hand, or punching with both hands, or if you're just slapping the bag around, if you're hitting it with your shoulders, whatever you're doing, you're moving around. You're like I said, you're getting your heart pumping. You're maybe working your abs a little bit, working your arms a little bit. Your legs as you're moving side to side. You're getting exercise. So again, if that's your main goal, just to exercise, you're like, you know what? I don't want to be a fighter. I don't want to be a boxer, a kickboxer. I don't want to be any of that. I just want to get a little bit better in shape. Then you go out, you get yourself a punching bag, and you hit the bag however you want. If you want to hit the bag like this, or like however you want to hit the bag, you're doing well. So, yeah, that's it. But if you do like the technique, I'm not the guy. I'm not a professional fighter. I don't know boxing or kickboxing, any of that stuff. So I'm not the guy to tell you that. But my main purpose for punching the punching bag is generally for exercise. Yeah, maybe I punch kind of like a boxer a little bit, but my main thing is, developing muscle a little bit as, you punch the bag, get a little bit stronger. And like I said, moving around, getting all my bones and my muscles going around, and, just getting a good workout. That's what I'm doing. And if that's what you want to do, like I said, however you do it, totally fine. Oh, before I turn off the camera, you guys want to see me punch the punching bag a little bit since I'm here? I almost turned off the camera. First thing I do is take off my flip-flops. I punch in my bare feet. Oh, I almost forgot. There's another thing. So, like I said, if your goal is just to exercise, like I said, there is no wrong or right way. But I do have at least one tip, and well, actually a couple tips. One, get gloves. This bag is pretty soft. Some of them are a little bit more rugged. But even so, if you start punching this bag a lot, you'll notice it'll tear your knuckles up a lot. So, regardless if you're doing exercise or you're trying to practice for fighting, get gloves. Unless you're this super Mr. Tough guy or Mr. Tough woman, you don't care about shredding your knuckles, then go for it. But if you do care, if you don't want your knuckles to get all messed up, get yourself a decent pair of gloves. And myself, I get ones that go a little bit down on your finger more, like almost not all the way to the tip. Like I don't want them to cover it. I just like having my fingers open, because when you make a fist, the glove kind of comes up a little bit. So with some gloves, even with the glove on, when you're hitting it, sometimes this part comes up and you'll still scratch your knuckles. So get gloves, and maybe get ones that kind of go down past your middle knuckle a little bit. That's my first tip. And my second tip is keep your nails cut short. And the reason for that is when you make a fist, as you see, your fingers go into the palm of your hand like this. And if you have long nails, one thing it's going to do, it's going to cut into your hand, especially if you're making a really tight fist. Okay? And the second thing, it might just prevent you from making a really tight fist. And when you're punching, you want to make as tight a fist as you can. And so it's good to have your nails cut short. Now, don't try to get them so super short where it hurts, but just kind of at a moderate, decent level. And also kind of as a side note, if you are like a fighter, you know, if you tend to get in street fights or whatever, you know, you don't want to go get into dukes with somebody on the street and go, like, again, go to make a fist and hit somebody, and like I said, you cut yourself all up. So that's my 2 tips that I do have. One, get gloves. Get a decent pair of gloves. Just test them out. Oh, that's the great thing. I had another pair of gloves, didn't like them so much. I just took them back to the store. Hey, I don't want these, trade them in for another pair. Most stores nowadays, you could do this. Most big retailers. I think I got these from Dick's Sporting Goods. Just Century gloves. But yeah, get yourself a good pair of gloves. In the bag, and you don't have to worry about shredding your hands and keep your nails short. So anyhow, that's my 2 tips. But other than that, if you're just trying to exercise, hit the bag however you want. You know, get your stretch a little bit. Just hit the bag. Just hit the bag. Get them moving around. Get your heart pumping, you know, just exercise, you get some stress, you'll be like, oh man, my boss, oh man, my girlfriend, oh man, my boyfriend did this, oh man, take all your aggression and anger out, why'd you dump me, you motherfucker, why'd you fire me, why'd you mess up my order at McDonald's, okay. Get my heart pumping, that's why I'm breathing hard. There's a couple different ways to punch a punching bag too. If you're just trying to work your arms, oh man, I'm out of breath. You could see, I'm going to show you. I'm just going to stand still. Stand still. This is just, you know, working your arms, okay? But you can also get like a harder hit using your shoulder. Look, I'm just going to tighten my arm like this, and look, you're hitting with your shoulder. You're not extending your arm for a hit. You're putting all the power of your shoulder into it. Okay. So you get those good hits, you know, and kind of a combination. You put your shoulder and maybe release a little bit with your hand. You get a good hit, you know. So it's kind of a tip, not really a tip. So I'll just kind of show you 2 different ways to hit it. Punch with your arms, punch with your shoulder. Punch bag before, in general, the higher up the punch bag, the softer it is. The lower down below, it gets really hard because all the cotton or, man, I'm out of breath. Whatever is inside cotton or whatever, it gets all packed down to the bottom. So usually the bottom of the punch bag is really hard. So if you're just starting to punch bag, kind of punch towards the top, you know, it's a lot, you see it's a lot softer. As you get down more, it gets way more dense. Hard. Ooh, see? Throw a kick in there, you're just exercising. It doesn't matter what you do. See, you're getting your legs up there, working your legs out. Oh, got my order wrong.